the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Thursday morning. We're glad that you joined us whenever and wherever it is that you join us every day and make Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Randy, good to see you here to get things started on a Thursday morning. A ton to dive into. SEC baseball for Auburn this morning coming up, so you and I will talk about that a little bit. It's been a great season for the Auburn baseball team, and they've got a lot on the line. I know in the SEC tournament, you go, well, you know, what's the big deal? I think Auburn needs to win today and maybe win tomorrow to possibly secure a national seed. As far as when I say national seed, one of the top 8 seeds, which would put you in that super regional category. But first things first, they're going to get to host a regional. They are one of the better teams in the country, RPI wise and everything else, and they've just proven they can go toe-to-toe with everybody in this league, which is tough. Also going to talk some football with you, some over-under win totals for the SEC. Just kind of want to see what we think about that, some of the projections that we've seen, what Vegas is saying, and, it's never too early to predict, right? We've been predicting records for about 3 months now, so why can't we just see what the over-under is on all these teams? Man, good to see you this morning.
Well, glad to be here. I think we've actually said a little different this year than we have in past years, that I'm not coming on here this summer and giving you any rose-colored glasses look into the future of Auburn football. I'm not doing it anymore. I've given up on that.
Maybe start crying up here.
I'm not buying into the media buzz. Auburn is, hey, we can never complain as Auburn fans that the media never gives us the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we can go 3 or 4 years of losing seasons, and we'll come in to the next year. I've seen it for the last 20 years, and we'll come in ranked number 11 in the country. And you're looking around and go, like, these people watching the same thing that I'm unfortunately having to live through. But because we can sell it up, and we do it every year, we sell ourselves into this is the year that things are going to go in our favor. And I do believe that, but I'm not going to come on here and tell everybody the reason that we're going to win 10 ball games. And I think even last year, you and I went through a stretch where, man, we get to that 5-0 mark. I could see us getting to 8. And if all things go perfectly, we can get to that 9 or 10 mark. Hell. Not doing it anymore, Brett Pritchard. You cannot talk me into it this year.
I'm gonna see what I can do between now and the start of the season.
It will not work.
Hey, look, I'm in the same boat. You know that. I said that a long time ago. I said, man, look, we've had 4 losing seasons. I'm tired of buying the bill, and let's just see what happens. We've put ourselves in a position to be successful, I think. So let's just see how it plays out. And, it's always, in the off season, a lot of talk, a lot of quotes, just like what Coach Freeze had last week, that did get taken and people run with them. And rightfully so, because there's not a lot of anything going on the field right now other than, people just working out on their own. And so you got to go off what you got. And so the quotes get blown out of proportion. People get the panties in a wad on different things, but here it is. We're going to talk about win-loss totals in just a little bit, and we'll see. Again, like I said, go to Baylor and win. That's what's going to prove whether you're on the right path or not. Again, we all know right now, sitting here at the end of May, if Auburn loses that game, it's not the season probably ain't going to go well. I mean, I hate to be that way, and I'm not saying that you can't turn things around, but just the next 5 games after that and what you got to do on the road just won't bode well. I mean, you can just go ahead and feel the animosity from the fan base and everything like that. So Justin said mediocre kicker last year, I guess is what he's referring to. Yeah, I mean, when you don't have a strong kicking game, you're going to lose some close games. Coach Freeze talked about that. And that's true. I mean, that is something that definitely cost us last year, but it was more than that. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. All right, Auburn in Hoover today, finally going to get to play. Was supposed to play last night, but the rain the night before kind of backed everything up. So Auburn will get started at 11 o'clock this morning with the Texas A&M team that blanked Mississippi State. Now, again, Texas A&M is fighting for their lives. Randy, they've had a very disappointing season. They were preseason ranked number 1. They found themselves at the bottom of the conference, and the most embarrassing thing that probably could happen to anybody this year was get swept by Missouri. Missouri won 3 games, and they were all 3 against Texas A&M. And so they're fighting to try to get to postseason. So, Auburn's facing a team that very talented, no question about it. Just haven't performed up to the level, but came out firing against Mississippi State with a big 9-0 win.
Well, when you're that talented, baseball is one of those sports that most of the time it's all going to even out at some point. And if you remember a few years back, I know you do, Ole Miss comes into the season ranked preseason number 1, starts the season number 1, gets off to a terrible start, kind of cures their ills midway through the season. And as postseason came into play, it was very clear the reason that they were ranked number 1 when the season started. I'm not saying Texas A&M is going to do that, but from a talent standpoint, if they can right the ship and get things going in a positive direction, don't think this team's not talented enough to go and win the SEC tournament. And when your back's against the wall, you tend to know that you got to put your best foot forward to even make it into the postseason. So they know that. Auburn's the better team. Auburn's going to be able to throw arms at this tournament that I think can get us through. Can we ride 3 or 4 hot bats through this tournament? We got them. Ceiling's really high for this team, Brett. So big game. I think Auburn does need at least this win to secure. You can dig into talking yourself into thinking Auburn needs 2 wins, but I feel like if Auburn gets this one, the RPI is going to be enough in our favor to probably get one of those national seeds, and there's not much more you can ask for as an Auburn program than to get there. There's a lot of arguments back and forth on how much the SEC tournament can hurt your pitching staff and going into postseason. I'd rather be playing my best ball at this time of year, though. And so 100%. You don't want to go into a tournament like this thinking anything other than let's take the opportunity in front of us and let's try to put another banner up and win another championship. And this Auburn team's good enough to win this SEC tournament. They are. They
got to get through Justin Lampkin today. Justin Lampkin, a very good pitcher. Auburn's had success over the last couple of years. Let's remind everybody, Auburn didn't play Texas A&M this year. So this will be the first matchup. And he's a lefty. Auburn hasn't been the best this year against left-handed pitching. Okay, so that'll be a challenge in itself. But like Justin said, he threw a complete game shutout against Georgia last week. So yeah, I mean he's 4-7, but his ERA is 3.52 on the season, and he struck out 93 and only allowed 16 walks. So man, he is very efficient. And again, that's why left-handers get paid a lot of money, man, in the majors. They are still to this day and throughout time, left-handed pitching is tough to hit. And so that's what Auburn's going to have to face. As you mentioned just a minute ago, Texas A&M has the talent up and down the line. I don't know why they haven't put it together this year. Some years are unexplainable. We've had those obviously at Auburn in numerous sports, but again, they're playing with a little bit more urgency. Auburn is going to host a regional, but Auburn still has a lot, like you said, on the line too. If they get this win today, it'll set up a matchup with them and LSU tomorrow. And here's the deal with that. Auburn swept LSU earlier in the year. LSU's the number 1 team in the country now. You get to that game and you possibly beat them again, and you got 4 wins against LSU in 4 tries. I think you've got the number. I think you've got a national seed locked up. You'll have a super regional opportunity in your back pocket if you're able to navigate through your own regional.
Oh, I agree with that. I think you get two, you're definitely there.
Yeah.
I think Auburn's really close if they get the one to have enough of
Right.
enough of an argument.
Yeah, I think it'll be dependent on what some of these other teams do.
Agree, of course.
And then,
but we're right there.
Yeah.
Great season and great top end talent for this Auburn baseball team. Ike Irish, a couple of those bats show up to play in this postseason run. The same as, Sonny D did a few years ago. You get a hot bat and can ride it into the College World Series, and Auburn's got them there to do that, and be fun to watch. Love the setup in Hoover, Brett. It's kind of nice that tournament doesn't bounce all over the place. I know that we're kind of happy that it's here in the state of Alabama, and we get a lot of people. And
we're a little biased,
but it is a great venue, and it seems to be embraced by the city of Hoover. And I hardly ever hear any complaints from anyone else about this moving anywhere. Do you?
No, I think I had an opportunity when I was at Central Alabama Community College to go out to Grand Junction, Colorado, for the JUCO College World Series, and you go, well, what's in Grand Junction, Colorado? Well, not much other than that. Now they make it a big deal, and that community embraced that, and it became the official home of that World Series. And it's kind of like Omaha with the Division I College World Series. When you get communities that really roll out the red carpet and it means so much to them, they're going to they know that this is what they live for every year, and that's what Birmingham does with this SEC tournament. Man, they this thing was in Columbus a few times, and they tried to bounce it around when you and I were in school. And I remember going over with Auburn, as a student worker and working the tournament over in Columbus. Just not near the field. Nobody really cared. It wasn't, Birmingham is the official capital of the SEC. That's where the SEC offices are. So, yeah, I think it's been kicked around, moving it some more, but I don't think they ever need to move it out of. And I think most of the teams love going to Hoover and the venue that it is. But it's been a while since Auburn's won the SEC tournament. It'd be nice to see if they could make a run right here over the next 3 days and see if they could win this thing. It's one of their best chances they've had. But like you said, bats, Ike Irish, but the freshman bats are really the ones. Chase Fralick, Chris Rembrandt, Bub Terrell. Auburn's got a bright future, man. And you said it the other day, the arms as well. We can go down the roster and list pitchers. But, it's a team that won 38 games so far this year, and they've got a lot ahead of them. And, Auburn's never hosted a super regional. So what a unique opportunity on the table. They've been in a bunch of super regionals. They've had to go to other people's home and win. They've had to go to Florida. They've had to go to North Carolina. They've had to go to Oregon State. They've had to go to Florida State. They've had to go to all these places. They've never been in a position where they could host a super regional. So that's on the line for them today. So it's not like they're going into this game going, well, whatever happens. They want to win this game today. And Coach Thompson wants to win this tournament. And I think, again, that's a big deal too. If you can win this tournament, man, it's all about momentum at this point in time in the season. Well,
and you look at our home record this year, Brett. I mean, Auburn's only lost a couple of times at home. So it truly is a home field advantage. And, the venue has been upgraded. There's so many different, things that give you that good feel and that good home environment there at Plainsman Park. And you've been able to go to quite a few games, and I know you enjoy it. It's something that I think this team deserves, but you can't go into a tournament. Same with Auburn basketball. We said this going into the SEC tournament this year. You just can't go in and lose that first game against 14 seed. You'll have plenty of arguments in your favor as long as you don't go into a tournament play and lose to a 14 seed. But in the SEC, the funny thing is the 14 seed was the number one team in the country going into the season. So it's not like playing the 14 seed somewhere else.
No, it's deadly. It is a deadly, deadly conference. We'll welcome Faith in here, Randy, and I'll shift gears. I want to talk to you, and then we'll get Faith's opinion on some of this too. But SEC win totals, I'm going to shift over to football now. But again, by the way, first pitch at 11 o'clock this morning for everybody. If you're going, well, what time does it start? And it starts at 11. So if you want to get up to Birmingham and watch the game, I know that would be it looks like the weather's going to be beautiful, just like it was yesterday. So get up there and check it out. All right, SEC win totals for 2025. I'm going to throw some of these out here. I'm not going to go through everybody, guys, and I'm just going to see what y'all say, over or under this number. I'll start with Oklahoma. That's a team we got to play early. I think it's a coach that's on the hot seat too, like Coach Freeze. Randy, I'll start with you and then over to you, Faith. Oklahoma is at 6.5. Are they over that or are they under that?
Oh, I definitely think over. I think what they did going out and getting who you thought was the best transfer quarterback in the portal. I mean, you cure a lot of L's, you go get the right quarterback. We keep saying that with Auburn. I hope and pray that we've got the right two in the room now to cure a lot of our L's, but we won't know until play starts. You know, the one thing that Oklahoma has going into the season, though, they've got a quarterback that just about everybody wanted, and they were able to go get. So if the number's 6.5, I'm well over that for Oklahoma.
Faith?
Yeah, I think they're over that for sure.
I think that's a little low. So how much are all of us putting on that? I'm ready to place the ticket in Vegas right now. I mean, we're unanimous here. So, I mean, what, 100,000, 200,000? What y'all want to ride with?
Oh, I mean, I'm very bullish when it comes to this one. If the quarterback's right, you know.
Well, I think they knocked out. Plus, they got a great running back, Jaden Ott, too. So.
Yeah, I don't understand where that one is. That's back to my Auburn comment a little bit earlier. You can have 4 straight losing seasons. You look down at the top 25 poll, and Auburn's ranked 11th. I mean, really, 11th? I mean, don't tee us up for some disappointment, please.
The disappointment's coming. Y'all just hold on just a minute.
Okay.
All right, Florida, another coach is on the hot seat, and again, I think going into year 4 now, Billy Napier, he's got to win, and Florida's had enough. And with everything that they have down there, it's unacceptable. But they are sitting at 6.5. So are we over or under there? Got DJ Lagway coming back as quarterback. I'll start with you first, Faith, on this one. Florida over or under the 6.5 number?
I think it could go one of two ways. I feel like they could go with 6 or 7. Like, I feel like 6.5 is a really good.
That's why they said it right there.
I know. I don't know. I think. I don't know.
I'm gonna start the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I know. I'll go 6 with them.
So you're going under, man. Okay, he's fired at that point. All right, Randy.
I know. I don't know, but after I don't know. All right.
Now you've already made your calls. That's
yeah,
it.
I think I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna stick with the under. I'm gonna stick with 6.
I'm right there with Faith. I think I'm very bullish on Oklahoma, but I think the number's dead on with Florida.
That's why they set these numbers where they set them.
Well, I'll go over. I'll go over with them, but slightly over. And I think that it's kind of like Hugh Freeze with Auburn. I mean, if that over is only 7, how happy is Auburn fans? Same exact conversation going on at Florida. If the over is only 7 at Florida, you know, which one of those two, if we only get to 7, is on the hottest seat? There's your question, Brett. Napier or Freeze, if both only get to 7, which one's hotter?
Both.
Yeah,
I think they're in the same canoe going down S Creek. I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, I'm just being a little bit PG this morning. I won't go R. I won't go R today. I'll try to keep it PG. Some guy pissed me off yesterday at the On Location. Faith will know about it. And I was trying to. I was being really nice, but I mean, just some people, man. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? And what are you doing? And it's the ones that
it just like that, though. I can promise you.
Yeah, I didn't say it like that, but people just spin around and smile at you like it's their world and you're just living some other universe, and you're like, hey man, do you see what we're doing right here? What are you doing? So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that. Let me get back to the business at hand. All right, here's one for you guys. This one's tough. Tennessee, 9.5. All right, Randy. Tennessee, 9.5. Hey, they went to the playoffs last year, but guess what? They've had a disastrous all season with this Nico Imialiava stuff. So 9.5.
No, I mean, I'm under. I'm not buying that. I'm as bullish on that under as I am on Oklahoma's over. Watch me be wrong on both, but that seems like a big number for Tennessee without a returning quarterback. I agree.
Well, they get the UCLA. All they did was trade. They traded with UCLA. So is that good enough? I guess. I mean, yeah, that's what we're going to look at there. So, and a little bit later on down the line, not today, we're going to look at quarterbacks in the SEC, and we're all going to rank our quarterbacks. I know everybody's doing that right now.
So
we're
good
going
luck
to do
with
that. Yeah, don't cheat, but y'all don't cheat and go out there and look at anything.
What's more useless than that conversation other than where does Auburn end in the win total right now? Because all of our quarterbacks are really new.
They are. There's a lot of them. But it's fun to see where we kind of think they might finish.
Gosh, it's just a wild day and age, and with the transfer portal that I've got to go in. Let's just start with Auburn and Alabama and pick which quarterback room I like best. I mean, really, I'm going off of a high school tape to pick the one that I like best if I think the number 2 guy for both is the best option. And I'm not sure that the number 2 guy right now for both Auburn and Alabama is not the best option. We'll see how it plays out, but that's how talented both of those young guys coming from high school are. I mean, I'm just glad we've got one of them.
I definitely think you and Faith agree about Deuce Knight for Auburn. So, all right, Faith, is it too much for Tennessee? Is it over 9.5 or under 9.5?
Under. I'm with Randy. It's just your quarterback left.
That's a high bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Golly, man, that is a high bar, man. I mean, overs to double digits, dude.
Who's setting these numbers, Brett?
I think Vegas set these numbers.
So these are Vegas odds. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so a couple more. We won't go through. We'll save some more for later. I'm just randomly picking some of these. All right, the Georgia Bulldogs. That's Faith's favorite program in the history of man. 9.5 for the Bulldogs. Faith, I'll let you have the honors of this one first, since you love the Bulldogs so much.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. I think that's high. Another team where their quarterback is gone. Gunnar Stockton is going to be starting. We haven't seen that much from him, even from last year, really, after Carson Beck got hurt. So I don't really know what to expect with Gunnar. In high school, he was really good, and I thought he was going to play actually kind of a little bit the last 2 years, just on and off. And we really didn't see him at all. But I don't know. I think it's Georgia. They'll probably get to 10 if I had to guess.
Say that, but
me
too.
It is painful to say, but I agree totally with her. I want to say that it's the same as Alabama. I want to say that.
Well, since you brought that up, Alabama's at 9.5 too, so they're both at 9.5.
Until both show any kind of back-to-back years, let's say for Alabama, that they're not going to get into the double digits, I can't go there. I just think they're going to right the ship. I think they're talented enough. We both know that both of those teams, even without Nick Saban there, they're still both the most talented teams in the conference. If you're weighing 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah, outside of Texas. Outside of Texas.
Yeah, outside of Texas, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to give me the benefit of the doubt. I still don't necessarily have Texas in my mind when I think of the SEC, but yes,
and they're 9.5 too, y'all, by the way. Texas, Alabama, and Georgia and Tennessee are
okay. Well, here's the better question as I leave. I'll ask the question and then I'll step aside. If between the 3 of those teams, if they're all 9.5, Alabama, Texas, and Georgia, which of those three would you give the highest percentage to not reach that 9.5? Brett, I'll start with you.
I'm supposed to be asking the questions over here.
Yeah, but I'm getting asked
throwing
this
this mess at me.
No. I'm changing the rules.
Well, let me give it a little analysis first on Texas. Did y'all see what Aaron Murray said about Texas yesterday about Arch Manning? And then, of course, Quinn Ewers went in the 6th round. Didn't he go, or did he get drafted in the 7th round? Was it 6th or 7th? One of the two. He said, and Arch Manning's predicted to be the number 1 overall pick coming up in the draft. He's like, if you're the number 1 overall pick in the draft, why were you not starting over a 7th round pick, man? Like, why? If you were ready to, it ain't like he was a freshman. And then, so he brings up a really good point on that. So Arch Manning hadn't been the starter yet. Now, is the potential out the roof? Yeah, I think everybody agrees with that. So I'm going to say, based on this, the thing that stands out to me with all three is they all have an unproven quarterback. I mean, all three of them do. Just like Auburn does. Go down the list.
I feel like we've been saying that, though, this whole time that we've been talking about the fall, is that we've said all these teams have unproven quarterbacks. And I think I'll say that I've said, I don't even know what kind of analysis or what kind of, what I really want to say about us going and playing against some of these teams, because we haven't seen any of their quarterbacks. We haven't even seen our own with our team. And we've seen how much that can just affect the whole offense with a good quarterback or a bad one. And so I feel like the entire part of some of the SEC is just completely new because of that situation.
Yeah, the best returning quarterbacks are at South Carolina and Texas A&M probably, and Marcel Reed and Lenore Sellers. So I don't know, but to kind of sum up that, Randy, before you go, it's hard because the talent wise, I think the best percentage of those to go over would be Georgia, in my opinion.
You think over?
I think for over 9.5. Is that what you're asking? I was asking the under, but I mean, I'm sorry.
But you gave me this. I'm direct opposite of you. If I'm picking one of those three to not reach 9.5, I'm picking Georgia because I dislike their quarterback play worse than the other two options that we're talking about now. Alabama? I feel like Alabama's in the exact same boat as Auburn, but they're more talented than Auburn. Like, I really like Alabama's 2 quarterbacks, and I really like Auburn's 2 quarterbacks. Now, can the starter for both fall flat on their face? I mean, Faith and I have been arguing that with Deuce Knight for a while. I don't know if Jackson Arnold's going to fall flat, but I know our backup's very talented, and I feel the exact same way with Alabama. And, to me, I didn't see much with Stockton. I might be missing it. And, Faith knows that state, knows the pedigree that he had coming in to Georgia, and they've got every option in the world to go out there and find somebody to take his spot. So he's got to be wooing a lot of people, Brett. But, if I've got to pick, and I know I'm going to end up wrong on this because Georgia never just wins 9 games. But if I've got to pick between the 3 of those, I'm going with the one that I feel like has the worst option at quarterback, and for me right now, that's Georgia.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, well, did I talk you into it?
No, you didn't. I'm still gonna stick with Georgia.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
look, Arch Manning, man. I think there's a lot of just buzz around. I think he's definitely great as far as his potential, but we ain't seen it yet, so we'll see. And let me tell you where Georgia's whipped Texas in the last few years. It's on the line of scrimmage.
That's right.
And I think they're going to beat them again. Like every time they're head-to-head, it's this line of scrimmage play. And I think Alabama's maybe even taking a step back there too. So I'm going to ride with Georgia. I hate it. It makes me sick. I'm throwing up over here. And I don't like any of them. How about that? I don't like either of the 3. So I'd like for Auburn's win total projection to be at 9.5. By the way, they've got Auburn at 7.5. So that's a conversation for another day.
We'll have that one, but give us a call, 256-825-0197. Screen printing and embroidery, promotional products for Lee Apparel. Any signage need from start to finish, whether it be vehicle wraps to digital boards to scoreboards on your field or monument signs out for your business or school. Sign Source can handle it all from design to installation. 256-825-0197. I'll be tuning in, y'all.
See you, brother.
Bye, Randy.
All right. Good day yesterday for us on the road. We'll talk about that. Some more partners here on the program as we get started, and to cue you up as always.
Cincy Green for air that is cool and clean. Call them Cincy Green. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama, proud supporters of Auburn athletics and proud supporter of Auburn Blitz podcast. It is warm outside. We experienced that yesterday, Brett, on the road.
My
And
computer almost melted, by the way, in 3 minutes.
it seriously did. But if you want to not melt inside your home, get a carrier unit with Cincy Green. And I know everybody loves to save money, so call on Cincy Green. They're going to save you thousands of dollars on the installation process of a carrier unit.
Scout Program Management, a full-service construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama. Call on Sloan, J. Charles, those guys, man, they handle multi-million-dollar projects from start to finish. You can't get a better group. Again, when you're building and you got that much money invested, you want it done right. You don't want to take over a project that's got a bunch of stuff still on a punch list. They're going to go through and make sure the project is done to par, and it may be even above. Of course, above. They want it even better than you would have anticipated. So Scout Program Management, they consult, they handle the project from start to finish. Make sure you call on them, check them out online. Great people.
Bunkers in Auburn, they've got 27 different sports on the golf simulator bays. So whether that be football, golf, tennis, anything you want to play, I can guarantee it's going to be on the golf simulator bays of Bunkers. They're downtown Auburn with 50 parking spaces, so you don't even have to worry about the whole downtown parking. And then also they've got some great food, great specials all the time, happy hour specials all the time. And like I like to say, you don't have to wait for the cart girl to come around because they've got 2 bars that you can just walk right up to and get your drinks.
Are we sneaking over there today? Possibly, maybe.
We might. I don't know.
Just depends on what time, right? Depends on what all we got going on. Would love to, man. Love Bunkers. Great place. Go check them out. All right. A little breaking news yesterday. When it really unexpected, because you and I and Jason had just talked about that morning next week's incoming prospects, and at the top of that list we made a mention. We talked about it yesterday at lunch on location show.
Yeah.
We had 2 top running backs in this past weekend, and Derek Cooper and Jay Lamar. And then now we were looking forward to having, and it was going to be, we talked about it yesterday. We said it's a little odd, it's weird to have 2 top quarterback prospects that you're recruiting in on the same weekend.
Is it? Yeah.
But now you ain't got to worry about that, because one's off the board now. And Travis Burgess makes a tweet and says, look, announcement coming at 7 p.m. And we knew Auburn was battling North Carolina for him. So he joins the traveling circus of Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels. And I still think this is a disaster in waiting in North Carolina with everything that they've got going on up there. And again, Mac Brown even came out and said that North Carolina had lowered academic standards and poured a bunch of money in to help Bill Belichick. He was basically saying, why wouldn't Bill Belichick be successful? They're doing everything in the world to water everything down to make it almost impossible not to be successful. So, but he had a official visit coming up to Auburn, and Travis Burgess had pretty much said, Faith, and he was down to 2 schools. And Coach Nix and Coach Austin were over there a few weeks ago. We talked about that yesterday. So you were like, okay, you're going to have Landon Duckworth from Jackson and Travis Burgess in from Georgia, and we'd have them both there. And how would Auburn navigate that? I don't know what happened. Obviously, maybe North Carolina doubled down, just put something out there that was too good to turn down, and they didn't want him coming to Auburn on that official visit. So he announces that he's going to North Carolina. Now, will he shut his recruitment down? I don't know. most of the time a quarterback does. But will he shut it down completely? Will Auburn continue to pursue him, or will Auburn move on totally and now focus 110% now on trying to get a commitment out of Landon Duckworth?
Yeah, I think, I think that was, I want to say, kind of shocking just because of the fact that it was, it was May 21st. I feel like it was still really early. He hadn't gone on
Well, you're a
his,
week away from going on the official visit of the other team that's pursuing you.
right. That's what, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
I think it was early for him to,
It is. I'm
yeah,
agreeing with you. I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
it didn't make any sense why he would jump in there and make that commitment when, okay, go take your other OV and go, okay, now I can make a decision. But I don't know.
I think UNC had to offer him something big time for him to make that commitment last night. Which, if that's, here's the thing, is Bill Belichick going to be there even this fall?
I told you, I'm still riding that he may not ever coach a play. I like it's every week something comes out. Now supposedly he and the girl, they're getting engaged. She supposedly announced that yesterday. So
What?
yeah, it's I'm telling you, man. Like, okay, long term. I mean, even the long term prospect of him being around. Now, again, I guess on the flip side, you can say if Auburn lays an egg this year, Hugh Freeze ain't going to be around. So, I mean, I get all that, but I mean, I just think they're buying a gimmick up there. I mean, this whole thing is gimmicky to me in North Carolina. Bill Belichick is not a guy that went to North Carolina in my mind that says, I want to go up here and coach for the next 5 to 7 years of my life and really try to win a national championship. I think he got out of NFL. Like, the guy went and applied for the Atlanta Falcons job, and they didn't choose him. He went and interviewed. And so I think somebody ran into him in a Chick-fil-A after the interview with his suit on. And again, he tailed off at New England. He never was the same coach after Tom Brady left and went to the real team, the Tampa Bay Bucks. And he just never, to me, he just feels like a guy that's kind of washed up and he got the energy to do what he wants to, what he needs to do at that level. I don't know. It just feels like it's real gimmicky to me. And I'm with you. I think the offer or whatever it was that they sold out on with Travis Burgess had to be so good and so overwhelming that he just said, look, I'm about to go ahead and call this and make this announcement.
Yeah, I was trying to find the engagement while you were just saying some of that because I'm
It's just ridiculous.
I'm shocked from all of that. Wow, 2 big announcements for Bill Belichick yesterday. Good for him. Round of
Getting
applause.
engaged and I'm getting a quarterback. And
Yeah,
again,
see, the thing is, though, is I was reading a bunch of the comments on the commitment, and Travis was talking about, in 2 years this program is going to be whatever, and all the comments said, buddy,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be there either this fall. And then people were like, to think he's going to be there in 2 years is crazy work. So,
Right.
you've got your work set for you, dude. And honestly, I think this is when I like to go and talk to some of these recruits. You're able to, I've been able to get a good feel for the kid and what kind of kid they are. And I think that, and I could totally be wrong, but it looks to me like Travis is thinking about the now and not thinking about
Yeah.
a few, like,
Right.
he said in 2 years we'll be here. I don't think
Mm.
he's thinking about going on these official visits and stuff because he committed already before doing, before going to Auburn and everything. I think that to me says I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about what I was just offered, because there has to have been something that he was offered. And then I'm thinking about, I don't think he's thinking that Bill Belichick is going to be leaving. I don't think he's thinking about any of that
Remember this.
realistically.
remember this conversation when we are talking about him getting in the portal. Okay. Let's just rehash. Just put that in the back of your mind, file it away.
And
And remember
also, the other thing is too is Arch Manning is a different example. So take that out of your mind when I'm about to say how many quarterbacks are staying at their school for 2+ years right now.
not many, especially if they're not the starter.
Okay.
So there you go. I mean, that it's definitely against the trend for sure. And by the way, according to several sources, New York Times, other New York Times article that came out, she said that they are already engaged. It ain't like they're going to get engaged. It says Bill Belichick and 24-year-old Jordan Hudson reportedly engaged, per New York Times article. So there you go. So not announcing that she is getting engaged, but they are already engaged. Anyway, that will continue to cover that just
I can't
because
believe
it's
she's
a
only
sideshow.
2 years older than me. Dating.
Sideshow. Guy's in his 70s, by the way, Faith. Just so you know.
That's crazy.
All right. So much I can say right now, but I'm not. But anyway, that'll be a good opportunity for us to talk about some more of our partners real quick. And up in Alexander City, love them, Faith, and Sure Shot.
Sure Shot, right up 280. They've got all your firearm apparel and hunting needs. They sell and trade new and used firearms. Guys, I can't say anything else other than the fact that Brett and I, as in my family, actually use Sure Shot, and they're great people over there. Scott, he knows exactly what he's talking about. We wouldn't promote something that we don't actually use. And safes, Brett has gotten all of his shotguns and stuff from there. And Scott just he knows everything. So tell him that the Auburn Blitz sent you if you go up there, and 256-329-0080. And Oliver Ross. If you've got a private party of 20 people, or if you've got a convention of up to 20,000 people, or anywhere in between, Oliver Ross is certified and licensed bartenders that are going to take care of you and your guest. You can stick with the actual event planning, the entertainment, and they can stick with the bartending. So that's one less thing for you to worry about, and stick to the professionals there.
No doubt about it. They are all professionals. Everybody we deal with here on the Auburn Blitz, they're the professionals.
People that we actually use and believe in their company.
We do. I mean, I think that's important, because we're not just reading off and talking about somebody that is paying us to advertise. We are patrons of them, and and really proud to partner. That's why we call it a partnership here on the Auburn Blitz, and not an advertiser, because we really are partners in this thing, and we want to see them succeed, and we want all of you out there to go and find out how wonderful all of these great
tell them
partners
that
are.
we sent you, because
Absolutely.
then
Please.
who knows what they might do for you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So we'll have some more partners we'll talk about here in just a minute. So to wrap that up, Travis Burgess looks like he's off the table now, and it will be the full court press possibly on Landon Duckworth. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some other guys out there that Auburn's talking to and that they might get back in the game with, that they've offered. But the only other OV on the whole tab right now for the next month from a quarterback is Landon Duckworth. Now, will that change? Yeah. Can that change? Yeah. Can guys shift around and go, okay, one of their targets is off. Now maybe I'll set an OV to that school. So you might see another name or two pop up. But I think, look, you and I love our in-state kids, and I'm ready to go see you sit down with Landon and Isaiah and, all those guys down there at Jackson, all, Keelan. I think, when you look at it, in-state guys matter, especially when it comes to Auburn. And we've seen him up close and personal, and I think he's got all the tools. He's got everything you want to be a really, really good quarterback in this league. And so he'll be coming in next week, and now it will be him by himself. So, would that be something that he's so blown away with and Auburn puts a full court press on? Could we see him make a commitment? Maybe after an OV there. It's possible. A little bit of information on Landon Duckworth. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He led Jackson to a state title last year. I mean, they dominated some of the top schools on his list, and his official visits set up moving forward are Auburn on May 30th, South Carolina on June 6th, who's really pursuing him, Florida State on June 13th, and one definitely to watch is Ole Miss on June 20th. So there are the other official visits outside of Auburn. But does Auburn put a full court press on to the point where maybe he shuts stuff down? I don't know. We'll see. But he's gotten offers from all of those, and we'll see how it all plays out. And he also officially visited. Let's see. Did he go back and? Yeah, I think he visited. No, maybe he didn't. But anyway, those are the ones he has coming up. I know 100% sure. But he'll be in Auburn next weekend, and we'll see how that all plays out now that Travis Burgess apparently is off the board. But some stats for him last year, Faith, he only threw for 3,439 yards and 39 touchdowns, in case you were wondering.
Thank you.
So pretty good stat line for that young man. So, we'll look at that and see kind of how all that plays out.
Yeah, I'm excited to go catch up with Landon. Hopefully we can get a good conversation with him. I want to wait until after I feel like his visit to Auburn.
Sure.
But
hopefully get Vodney next week working on that. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, I want to end with something that, again, not to belabor negative stuff, but we always talk about home field advantage, and we talk about Jordan-Hare Stadium. Well, saw something posted yesterday, home records the last 6 years, and the mystique of Jordan-Hare Stadium in the everybody says it's haunted. Nick Saban says it's haunted, blah, blah, blah. But Auburn's record at home in the last 6 years is only 26-16.
It's a tragedy, Brett.
That
should literally be a stab to the heart.
Especially with the atmosphere Auburn has and the environment. I mean, Auburn fans have stayed true through this whole run and have been, it's still at night one of the most electric environments that you can go to. I don't care where you go. But you want to compare it to other teams in the SEC, Georgia's 34-1 at home in that 6-year stretch. Alabama's 38-2. Oklahoma, even as much as they sucked this past year, 32-5. LSU 33-6. Florida, even despite their woes, 29-8. Texas 29-8. Missouri 32-9 in that stretch. Ole Miss, which pains me to say, is 31-9 in that stretch. Then you got Texas A&M, Tennessee, and then Kentucky even with a better home record at 27-16. And then comes Auburn at 26-16. The only teams below Auburn are South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt. And that's not the group you want to be grouped with. If you want to look at the bottom six, Kentucky, Auburn, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt. We have this in our mind. I think it's like what we're talking about with our prediction every year of wins. We go, oh, Auburn's an 8, 9, 10 win team every year. No, well, they're not really. Maybe back in the day they were, but they're not. They haven't been lately. Oh, it's impossible to win in Jordan-Hare. Oh, nobody wants to play there. Well, not according to the record. It's 26-16. So some things got to change, man. I mean, you can only go off perception so long. That's reality right there. And, you don't really think about it till you see it on paper.
That's so bad.
I hate it. It's not what I wanted to bring up. Look, we got to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly on here, and that's to me not just bad; it's ugly. I mean, you're
It's
26.
disturbing,
It is,
embarrassing.
and just think how many close ones we've won. I mean,
Don't
that Missouri game.
you're just turning the knife in
Yeah,
my
I'm
heart.
sorry. I'll just leave it as what it is. So, I also on the flip side, how many we gave away? I mean, we probably gave 5 away at home. You know, we could easily probably be at 31 and 31 and 9 or something like that. But nope. The record is who you are at that point. So, hey, we'll get a couple more of our partners. I want to close out and talk about yesterday a little bit. It was great. And if people haven't seen your interview with, we'll say that in just a minute, they need to go do it. So, Old Number One Customs.
They are the professionals here. Also, don't DIY it in 2 years. Get it done in 2 weeks with Old Number One Customs. They can renovate, fully just strip, gut out your whole bathroom and kitchen and put a brand new whatever you want in there. And like I said, they're the professionals. They got it done in 2 weeks. So call on them because they're awesome.
334-752-6162. I will definitely be using them in the future for renovations here at my house.
JFA Blue Plumbing, guys, an easier number for you to remember is 844 JFA Blue. And you don't want to be drinking nasty, gross water that's staining your showers. That's disgusting. You want to get a home Atlas water filter duo from JFA Blue Plumbing, $15.99. You can't put a price on health. That's going to ensure that every single faucet, whether it's your sink, your shower, anything, is going to have filtered, purified water coming out of it. And so that's good for literally everything.
Yeah, you really the only thing you have to say is the health part.
Mm-hmm.
You want good, clean water going into your body, and you can't put a price on it. And $15.99 is a very small amount of money to pay for purified water. Okay, guys, appreciate all the comments again. All of the regulars that watch, we really appreciate it. Faith yesterday was awesome. It was unique. I've never done a show like that before. We had a good show from noon to 1, and then it was like, okay, we're going to stay up live. But when you're dealing with somebody that's on a tight schedule and there's thousands of people, literally thousands, okay, at the event that we were at yesterday at Backyard Dreams. By the way, if you need something outdoors, my God, that place is
outdoor
awesome.
Kitchen, outdoor fire pit,
Unbelievable.
anything. Gorgeous.
And so you and I were set up right in front of the front door. So everybody walked by us that went in the building yesterday. But they were also there helping promote the business was Riley Green, country music star, and one of the top music artists right now in the country. And as far as country music is concerned, and you have to work on their schedule, and they had a lot going on, and they were getting ready to pull out to go to Virginia, I think, right after the event. And so we had to kind of wait around, and finally got a chance to get up in didn't expect to go into the tour bus and do the interview.
Yeah.
We thought he was going to come to us at our spot in front, but Riley Green invited us onto his tour bus, literally invited us up there, said, look, come up here and do it. So I've never held the computer and done an interview. So it was a little shaky. I apologize for that, but you had a good, 4 minutes to sit down and talk to Riley. We had an exclusive interview with him. Nobody else had a chance to do that yesterday. So we had a chance to do that. I thought your interview went really, really well. And just a great guy, man, overall. He didn't have to do that. I mean, they were busy and stuff, and he wanted to make it a point because we're an Auburn show, and he went ahead and told you who his favorite team was. It's not really up for debate.
Yeah, he said that it's hard playing country music all across the state because of choosing the divide because of how separate we are. And I told him, I said it's crazy that you're able to even give some credit to the Bammers because I feel like the true Auburn people can't. And he said, well, come on, I got to think about my career here. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll give it to you. I could never personally, but that's fine. Yeah, and I mean, he talked about how he and BP are decent friends, and his sister was actually able to take her kids to go to a basketball game. He was trying to get to one, was not able to get to one. I mean,
He's super busy.
his tour is the Damn Good Country Music Tour, and he's a damn busy guy. I can tell you that right now. So,
He
but
was
yeah, it
worn
was
out
awesome.
yesterday.
Yeah, he was,
literally
but
worn
he was
out
awesome.
yesterday.
Very grateful that we were able to do that and talk to him. And he was very nice. He did not have to let us do that.
No, he didn't. He does have an Auburn Blitz hat now, and so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll don that maybe on one of his concert stops, tour
Yeah.
stops, and we'll see. And I gave it to him. He's like, "Man, I appreciate that." And he's like, "I said, all right, now you can't just throw it in the corner." I said, "You need to wear it." He's, "I got you, man. I got you." So we'll see if he's able to do it. But anyway, thanks to Riley Green and all of the guys, his manager and Chase. Chase was awesome yesterday working that out because anybody that sees an opening like that, there were still a lot of people there. We're going to come over there and flood, and you want to do the right thing. And he was out there for almost 2 hours signing autograph. It was hot too yesterday, so signing autographs, taking pictures with people, and there was a line. Faith, good Lord, man, I don't know how long it was. I mean, I bet there were over 600-700 people in line to get his autograph.
Yeah, it
So
was busy, but we had a lot of fun, and we're really grateful for that.
very much so. Thanks to Eric McKinley and for setting that up for us down there, and Lynn at Backyard Dreams. We'll definitely be going back down there and talk to him. We've got some other events coming up, so he wants us to be involved with that. So we appreciate that. So we got a lot going on, and
Busy day today.
very busy day today. I'll be on at noon for the show, and then headed down to Auburn. Faith and I will be doing an interview with one of the track stars for Auburn. So looking forward to finally getting over and catching up with them. That'll be the next edition of On the Front Row with Faith. So that's exciting. As well. But again, we appreciate all of you out there. Appreciate all of you. Mark, I know you probably are watching. Thanks for coming by. Yesterday, had several of you came out and told us you came to the event because you knew we were going to be there. So, man, that's awesome. And all of you that came up and spoke to us. And of course, Lucy drew a big crowd. I think she drew almost as big a crowd as Riley Green. So many people walked by and wanted to pet Lucy. So,
That was her helicopter. She said,
she knows it's 9 o'clock and it's time to go.
But it's
So
time.
it's time to end it up. But again, it was a great day. Love our summer on the road tour with Auburn Blitz that we got going with all these great partners, and it'll carry on into the fall. So we're excited about that. We're less than 100 days away from college football, guys.
Yep.
Can you believe that? So going to be good. All right. We want you to go out and be good to people, smile, make somebody's day, have the
Best day ever.
always, and a big old
War Eagle.